You are looking at me trying to disassemble the LCD screen from my MacBook 2012. This LCD was before the Retinas came out and it has spoiled. And I have plans to make it into a headless Mac where I remove the LCD and hook it up to an external LCD monitor so that I can continue to use this laptop. And I'm planning to do so until it dies. No, this is not my only computer at home. I have got two other Mac Minis with the M1 chip, and this is my spare. I put this in one of the rooms in my home so that it can also double up as a guest computer. Let's say if my friends and relatives come over to my place to stay. As we continue with this teardown, I want to declare that I'm a complete newbie and I don't do this for a living. I was inspired to do this project because I watched a few YouTube videos of other people turning their Macs into a headless Mac, and I want to do this so as to save money because the computer is still useful. Why throw it away when it can still be used? And I don't want to spend money on a brand new machine when this one is still totally usable. And that goes along the veins of Louis Rossmann, one of my inspirations, where he propounds on the idea of the right to repair, where electronic that you have is still working, then why waste it? Why follow the trend of spending needlessly on brand new machines when you can save the money and perhaps use the money to improve your quality of life or to just put it aside for the rainy day? And this idea extends into the way I live. If you go to my YouTube channel and browse through the other videos, they are a snippet of my life and the way I live in JB, Johor Bahru, Malaysia, and earn money from Singapore, where Singapore has a higher cost of living and a more powerful currency. So if I were to live across the straits in Johor Bahru, Malaysia, where the cost of living is lower with a weaker currency, then I can play the currency arbitrage where I earn in a stronger currency and spend in a weaker currency. And to work comparatively less hard versus my compatriots back in Singapore, and then to take the time that's freed out to live better, either physically as I go for walks as often as possible, or to eat better, choosing to buy higher quality foods and to prepare them at home whenever possible and to eat less processed stuff. Now, getting back onto the MacBook that I'm working on, I have more or less done all the unscrewing that I need to do, and there are so many of them holding down the different components before I can remove the LCD panel. As I try to get to it, let's sidetrack a little bit and talk about victimization. It's very easy to get into the victim mentality. You know that your situation is like that and therefore the outcome is like that, and the only way to turn it around is to have a politician come in and promise things will change for you. I don't know why there are so many people who are so gullible as to the promises of whoever who wants to take up the position of the president of the US of A. Right. So instead of waiting for promises to be fulfilled, which is a big gamble, why don't you take your own fate into your hands? Just like how I decided if I want to live a better life, why don't I relocate to JB, Malaysia, whilst trying to earn Singapore dollars? So I turn around and say the same thing to you. Instead of victimhood, why don't you take the matters into your own hands and make your life better? So coming back to this little project I'm doing, instead of throwing a good laptop away, why don't I do something about it so that I can continue to reap the benefits of what this machine can bring me? Now, let's get back to the MacBook project that I'm working on. I didn't want to show you the entire reverse process because it's the same as before, just in reverse. So I've very quickly off the camera put back all the screws and then put back the back plate, and you can see now that it is already headless. And on that note, maybe what I'm going to do next is to show you a little calculation of the amount of money I can save potentially by not buying a new machine, but getting a brand new external monitor and doing the rest myself. Let me explain how I derive the figures. The cheapest laptop from Apple that I can get at this point in time is an M2 MacBook Air. And that is about $1,399 in Singapore dollars. And I've converted into US dollars if you are not familiar with the currency. Then I bought an LCD monitor and a wire that converts DisplayPort to HDMI. And I added this up in ringgit, which is the Malaysian currency, and converted it to Singapore dollars and then converted to US dollars. So as you can see between the two numbers, I've saved about $1,000 off from buying a new machine if I were to just use my current MacBook and DIY the Headless Mac. We are going into the home stretch now with me trying to fit in the Headless MacBook as well as the LCD and to test whether it works. And of course, it does automatically. If you have stayed up to this point of the video, I would also like to thank you for having the patience to sit through this video with me. And I hope that whatever I've shared with you, you might find it useful as an inspiration for you to make your life a little better and to step away from victimhood. Here's a cheers to the next video. See all of you soon. Bye-bye.